It's CBM Productions time next. Stands for comic book movie fan, if you can't already tell.
Hey listen, I know your attention span is short because of TikTok, so I'll be recapping everything about the MCU phases 1 through 4 in hopefully less than 30 minutes because editing is a bitch. But yeah, I'm not going to waste much more time, so you can just jump right in before we clock off this video. Also, don't ask why Jenna Ortega's on this door. Just don't. Rich boy good, bald guy bad. Rich boy gets humbled after being captured to make weapons for terrorists. Ends up making a metal suit. Escapes. Bald guy wants to make his own metal suits. The two duke it out. Bald guy fucking dies. Another bald guy asks rich boy to join a super team. Science boy good, general bad. Science boy tests gamma on himself, causes him to become Green Monster, escapes to Brazil, is hunted by said general, and another military guy, goes back to the US to find his love, who's also General's daughter. Green Monster attacks again, other military dude becomes Spiny Monster, the two monsters duke it out, the green one wins, and the rich boy asks for Green Monster to join a super team.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo,
Rich boy wants the government to fuck off and keep his toys to himself. Rivals from Rich boy's past want to make knockoffs of Rich boy's tech but fail miserably. Becomes even more of a prick because he's poisoned, until he's cured by Spy Girl. Rich boy's best friend gets his own suit to take down bad guys, but Eye Patch Guy no longer wants Rich boy to be part of a super team because RDJ's contract was expiring, as Agent Guy finds a hammer in New Mexico. Before Agent Guy found the hammer, he stopped a couple of robbers from robbing a gas station with his flower throwing skills. Arrogant God gets banished from his magic realm by his dad, the king, because he was an arrogant prick and loses his hammer privileges. He crash lands in New Mexico and ends up falling in love with some white woman and grows humble because of it. Trickster brother tries to kill the now humble god to become king and take over all the 9 realms, but it ends up restoring his powers and goes back to said magic realm to fight Trickster brother, as Trickster brother fucking dies for the first time, as it's revealed he's alive and really wants that blue magic cube Eye Patch Guy's holding. The Agent Guy and another Agent Guy discover that their higher-ups want the Spiny Monster to be part of the super team, so they get Rich Boy to talk to the General to prevent that from happening, and they do so. In World War II times, Soldier Boy, no not that one, wants to join the war, but he can't because he's skinny and frail. Doctor allows Skinny Boy to get beefed up because he believes in him, but because Doctor gets shot, Soldier Boy is the only super soldier in the US. He becomes a propaganda piece until he saves his best friend and their comrades and becomes a core piece in defeating the Nazis. Meanwhile, a Nazi organization on steroids, helmed by Red Guy and his sidekick, want to take over the world with super soldiers, but Soldier Boy prevents it from happening, as his best friend fucking dies, for now, as Red Guy is transported somewhere, and Soldier Boy sacrifices himself to drop a plane in the Arctic to prevent it from destroying the US, as he promises the love interest that they'll dance together. As Soldier Boy gets put on ice for 70-some years, wakes up in modern times, and Eye Patch Guy tells him that he's in a whole new world. A year after Soldier Boy drops his plane in the ice, Soldier Boy's love interest moves to the US to take a data analysis job for a crime-solving organization. One night, the love interest finds out about a deadly serum going around and goes to kick ass by herself because she can do it, goddammit, and then is able to become one of the founding members of the secret organization with the help of Rich Boy's dad. Rich Boy, Soldier Boy, Green Monster, Humble God, Spy Girl, and this Arrow Guy all come together to fight off an alien invasion headed by the Trickster brother, attempting to rule Earth. At first, these people don't get along, but it takes a few key moments like the Arrow Guy becoming mind controlled for a moment, to the brother killing the Agent Guy, and the team falling apart, only for them to come together to fight in New York. Defeat the aliens by the Rich Boy driving a nuke into the wormhole that leads to the alien base, and destroying it and almost dying. Trickster brother is sent to the magic realm with the god, as the rest of the team head their separate ways for now, as bigger threats are coming. A New York couple takes some alien tech from the alien invasion and uses it to rob banks across the East Coast. The secret organization finds out about this, track the couple down, hijinks ensue, and the couple end up being recruited by said organization, even though they attempted to kill one of their employees. It's Christmas time, everybody, and Rich Boy is suffering from heavy PTSD from almost dying in the New York battle. Meanwhile, a terrorist is taking over broadcasts and doing terroristy things. Rich Boy gives his address to the public, only for the terrorists to show up and destroy his house as a result. What a shocker.
Not a great plan.
Rich Boy crash lands in Tennessee and spends time with a poor boy until he partners up with his best friend to find out that the terrorist isn't real, but an actor. The head of the snake is this guy from Rich Boy's past that he missed one meeting on during New Year's Eve like 20 years ago, and now is a dad bod because he found a way to cure people with deformities like Jenna Ortega. As Rich Boy and Dad Bod duke it out, Dad Bod fucking dies, and Rich Boy gives up the superhero life to focus on him. For now. Terrorist actor is in jail for his crimes and thinks he's getting ready for an interview until it's switched up on him and that there's a real terrorist out there that is mad that the actor used his name, so he gets captured as a result. Elf guy wants the world to be complete darkness by using this red liquid that gets awakened by some white woman, as the humble god now has a fight said elf to stop the world from going dark. Elf attempts to ambush the magic realm because some white woman got the liquid infused inside of her. The god's mom dies, the trickster brother helps out and dies for a second time. As the god and elf duke it out, the elf fucking dies, and the king asks the god if he wants to take over. God said he isn't ready. The king is revealed to be the trickster brother, and the liquid is taken out of said white woman so these two can have a romance. And it goes to Sicario to keep it safe. Soldier Boy becomes a Boy Scout for the secret organization to fill the hole of being a man out of time, until said organization ends up revealing to be sabotaged for years by the Nazi steroids organization, as Soldier Boy and Spy Girl go on the run to find out who to trust. As Eye Patch Guy dies and then comes back, as Soldier Boy, Spy Girl, Wing Dude, and a couple others attempt to take down said organization by SD cards. As Soldier Boy's best friend is revealed to be alive, and has been brainwashed to become a lethal assassin. The good guys take down the organization, the bad guy fucking dies. Assassin almost kills Soldier Boy, until he gets to him enough and lets Soldier Boy live to find out who he is, as everyone essentially goes on the run. Andy Dwyer, Neytiri, Wrestler, Raccoon, and Tree all have to come together to stop Blue Alien from destroying the universe with a cursed purple orb, under the guidance of evil purple guy, who's also Neytiri's dad. And her sister is trying to kill her as well, along with this Blue Arrow guy that raised Dwyer after kidnapping him from Earth as a child. At first, they don't get along, but after finding each other enough, breaking out of prison, and giving some emotional monologues, they come together to defeat Blue Alien by Dwyer doing some dance moves and holding hands. Then, they become a space family and plan to keep the universe safe. Also, Tree fucking dies and then gets reincarnated. Rich Boy, Soldier Boy, Green Monster, Humble God, Spy Girl, and Arrow Guy all have to take down an evil robot created by Green Monster and Rich Boy, who's back in the superhero game after swearing it off last time we saw him. This witch lady makes Rich Boy paranoid of another invasion coming, and he makes the robot so it's a suit of armor around the world. The AI inside Evil Robot becomes very wary of humanity and wants to wipe it clean, so his solution is to lift a fictional country out of the earth and crash it back down to kill everyone with the help of Witch Lady and Speedy Guy, who hate Rich Boy because his weapons killed their parents. They eventually side with the good guys, as Rich Boy and Green Monster create another godlike being by putting Rich Boy's AI inside a physical body, as the fictional country is lifted up, but blows up before it can reach back down to Earth. Speedy Guy fucking dies, Evil Robot is defeated, Arrow Guy has a family, and apparently Spy Girl's a monster because she can't have kids. Okay. And still, bigger threats are coming. Ex-con gets out of jail and tries to reconnect with his daughter and his ex-wife. In an attempt to score some money after being rejected from normal jobs, breaks into an old guy's house and takes his suits, realizes the suit can shrink, and realizes the old guy wants Ex-con to help stop his protege from selling off the shrinking serum to worse people. Ex-con decides to help out with old guy's plan, and his estranged daughter as well. Protege catches onto their plan, and it goes haywire when he has his own shrinking suit as well. Ex-con and protege duke it out, as Ex-con sacrifices himself to shrink further than his limits to destroy protege's suits, and ends up in a super tiny realm where he's able to get out of it, save his family, gives respect from the old guy, and the estranged daughter as they make out, and he also fights Wing Dude, which gets him on the super team's radar. After Rich Boy's evil robot experiment kinda went to shit, the governments of the world wanted to seize control of the super team and made them work under their guidelines. People like Rich Boy are on the side of this, and people like Soldier Boy are against it. After literally just realizing the organization he worked for played his ass the entire time. These two go head to head over who's right, bringing in several players from the past movies, plus bringing in a Spider Kid and a Panther guy, who's on a vendetta for Soldier Boy's best friend, because it's believed that he was involved in the bombing that caused his dad to lose his Fortnite inventory. But it was actually this foreign guy that was behind it, putting all the pieces in place to tear the super team apart, as vengeance for his family dying in the Flying Country battle. Rich Boy and Soldier Boy fight in an airport, and eventually find out foreign guy's plan, only for him to reveal that Soldier Boy's best friend killed Rich Boy's parents. The three duke it out, nobody really wins, everybody goes on the run, foreign guy gets incarcerated, assassin guy is put in ice to clear his head, and the super team is disbanded for now. Here's Sherlock. Because we already have a Watson in this universe. He's a smart, rich prick. Sound familiar? He crashes his car because he's a shit driver, causing him to lose his profession as a surgeon. He goes down a rabbit hole, but lands him in the hands of a whitewashed lady, who opens his third eye to the spirit realm. He trains to become a wizard, as Hannibal and his followers want to use dark magic to bring in a dark entity to take over the universe. Sherlock is torn between joining this war or not, but fight or flight kicks in, and he fights some wizards. Sherlock uses a forbidden green stone so he can bargain with this entity to leave Earth alone, and he does. Hannibal is defeated, Whitewashed Lady reveals that she used dark magic to become immortal, and then fucking dies, and Sherlock takes up his role as the new big sorcerer. 3 months after part 1, Dwyer's long-lost dad shows up to catch up with him. Half of the family go to Space Dad, and half of them stay and get captured by Blue Arrow Guy for a bounty. Dwyer is having fun with his dad, but Neytiri is sensing something is up. After Neytiri's sister tries to kill her, they find a bunch of dead bodies, and realize that Space Dad had great game, but killed all the kids that didn't have the space gene that Dwyer does, allowing him to finally take over the universe. Meanwhile, Raccoon and Baby Tree team up with the Blue Arrow Guy to take on Space Dad, as our space family, that now includes Insect Lady, take on Space Dad, especially after it's revealed that he killed Dwyer's mom. Baby Tree puts a bomb in the brain of the Space Dad's planet Brain Core, whatever that means. Space Dad fucking dies, Blue Arrow Guy fucking dies, saving Dwyer, being the true father figure, as Space Family give funeral for Blue Arrow Guy as they become whole again. Spider-Kid wants to be part of Super Team, but can't because he's a baby. Tries to impress Rich Boy to no avail. He has a crush on a senior, whose father is essentially Walter White but with alien tech, that Spider-Kid can't stop interfering with his plan. Spider-Kid gets in trouble, including losing his Rich Boy suit privileges. Walter White wants to take Super Team tech, but Spider-Kid stops him at all costs. Walter White chooses to keep Spider-Kid's name a secret because he respects him. Rich Boy allows Spider-Kid to become a part of Super Team now, but he passes to stay humble. And also, there's Hannibal Buress.
Nigga, stankin' nigga, what the f you thinking, nigga?
Humble God tries to find space stones that he saw when he took a bath a few movies ago, goes back to Magic Realm to find Trickster Brother impersonating Dad, goes to find Dad with the help of Sherlock, finds Dad in Norway as he fucking dies. Then, Secret Sister appears, breaks Hammer, and takes over Magic Realm. Humble God and Trickster Brother go to Fighting Planet and comes across Green Monster, who's been there for a couple years, controlled by Jeff Goldblum, and best friends with Creed's wife. They decide to escape and go to Magic Realm to stop Sister from taking over the 9 realms. Humble God loses an eye, but meets his potential, destroys Magic Realm, and the sister fucking dies, with the help of the fire demon that's voiced by Mr. Krabs.
Me fucking heart stop!
Humble God becomes the new king of a realm that doesn't exist anymore, as they plan to go to Earth, but shit hits the fan. A week after Panther Guy helped fight people in an airport, he becomes the king of a secret African nation. His cousin wants to take over said nation as a way to get his race the tools necessary to become the strongest race in the world. Cousin takes over the throne after supposedly killing Panther Guy in a duel, is discovered by Trouble Guy, and nursed back to health with purple juice that gives him his powers, that cousin burns to the ground after becoming king. Then, Panther Guy, his sister, girlfriend, bodyguards, and the Tribal Guy all take on Cousin and his army. As they duke it out, Cousin fucking dies, Watson helps destroy the ships that prevent other nations from getting their tech, and Panther Guy decides his cousin had a point and starts opening up the resources to the world. Evil Purple Alien wants a bunch of magic rocks that consist of relics we've seen from the past movies to solve overpopulation. Mostly every hero from the past movies have to come together to try and stop him, but they instead form mini-groups instead of uniting. Rich Boy, Spider-Kid, Sherlock, and some of the Space Family team up to stop Alien, but Dwyer can't keep his ship together when he finds out his bae Neytiri fucking dies after Purple Alien killed her to get a magic orange rock, guarded by Red Guy in the Ghostface getup, and loses the fight. Purple Alien goes to secret African nation to get other stones, and Soldier Boy, his no longer assassin best friend, Spy Girl, Panther Guy, Green Monster that can't turn to Green Monster, and a handful of others fight Purple Alien and his army. Meanwhile, Humble God is on the revenge path after Purple Alien ambushed his ship, killed Trickster Brother for real this time, and left him to die. He teams up with Raccoon and Angsty Tree to forge an axe to kill Purple Alien. With the help of Peter Dinklage, arrives in an African nation to kill Purple Alien, but he misses the killing shots. And after Purple Alien kills the robot that fell in love with the Witch Lady, he snaps his fingers and half of the people in the universe become asbestos, as our losing heroes cry like absolute bitches, as Purple Alien chills in his cabin. Ex-Con is on house arrest for 2 years due to what he did at the airport, becomes estranged for his superhero connections to focus on his family, until he has a vision of being a woman, and contacts Old Guy about it. Old Guy and daughter think that it's the mom who was lost in the tiny realm decades earlier, trying to give them a signal through him, which is the case because she possesses over his body at one point. They create a machine that can send them through the tiny realm, as several people, both law enforcement and tech dealers, try to keep them in check. There's also a lady that can't grasp the 3 stages of matter under the care of Morpheus, and wants that machine to themselves. Ex-Con and the estranged daughter, who has her own shrinking suit now, fight off the bad guys, as Old Guy finds his wife Catwoman in Tiny Realm. Ex-Con manages to get home in time to finish his house arrest sentence. Ghost Lady somewhat gets her powers cured, and everybody's a happy family, until Old Guy, Catwoman, and estranged daughter turn to asbestos, as Ex-Con is in Tiny Realm getting juice for Ghost Lady, and is stuck. Arrogant Lady in the 90s is super powerful because she got blown up next to some space stuff or whatever that was, loses her memory, and is taken care of by Other Watson. She discovers that Other Watson and his race are bad people, and the people that she thinks are the enemy are just people trying to find a new home. With the help of Eye Patch Guy, but younger, they defeat the Other Watson and his people, save the shape-shifting aliens, changes their color settings, and flies off to become a girl boss. Our remaining heroes that didn't turn into a My Strange Addiction episode time travel to find the magic rocks after Purple Alien disintegrated them and then fucking dies. They go back to the past movies to get said rocks and give us nostalgia. Purple Alien from other timeline finds out this plan and goes to the main timeline to wipe out the entire universe, as our heroes manage to get everybody back for one final battle, where Purple Alien fucking dies from Rich Boy being able to pull a fast one on him. Then he also fucking dies to save the world and his family, so people like Arrow Guy can have his family back. Spy Girl also fucking dies, getting the orange rock for Arrow Guy. Green Monster becomes whatever the hell this is. Humble God becomes a dad bod and gets his self-esteem back from his dead mom, and Soldier Boy is able to rest and finally dance with the love interest. And that's where the story ends. Right? Spider-Kid is sad that Rich Boy lost his Fortnite inventory, goes on a summer trip to hook up with Shake It Up, as elemental monsters destroy their vibe every chance they go. Eye Patch Guy wants Spider-Kid to team up with Nightcrawler to take care of said monsters, but Nightcrawler is faking these monsters as their illusions. Also, Nightcrawler can get Rich Boy's glasses that control every single drone in the world, handed to a kid that Rich Boy didn't even trust with his own suit in the previous movie, all because Rich Boy couldn't say this guy's name correctly. Spider-Kid finds this out, pulls a fast one on Nightcrawler as he fucking dies, but not before he pulls a fast one on Spider-Kid and reveals Spider-Kid's identity to the world. Get fucked, kid. Wish Lady is sad that Robot Guy is dead. Creates her own version of the Truman Show to block her grief from her mind. Other Witch Lady uses it to get magic from Witch Lady using Demon Book, also bringing in Other Speedy Guy, played by Jeffrey Dahmer. Witch Lady's world starts to crumble the more people find out about this place. Such as several of the side characters from the previous movies, Witch Lady gives up her dead boyfriend and imaginary kids to stop torturing innocent people for weeks on end, as she flies off with Demon Book that she took from Other Witch Lady to find her kids. Wing Dude and Non-Assassin are sad that Soldier Boy is no longer here. Wing Dude gives up the shield to the government, and they give it to some white guy, but the government ends up regretting that choice after shit goes haywire. Some terrorists that want the underpopulated Earth back get defeated by a lady who Soldier Boy had a very weird brief romance with, who's also a villain now. Foreign Guy helps these two out for a bit before being reincarcerated, as Wing Dude and Non-Assassin become friends, as Wing Dude takes up the mantle of Soldier Boy and tells the governments of the world to do better. And that's about it. Trickster Brother from another universe is captured by a time travel organization who plan to execute him, but Owen Wilson sees something in him, and after he regains 10 years with the plot development in 10 minutes, becomes a part of his organization, falls in love with a female version of himself, who wants to kill the person who took her from their own timeline to keep everything pure. After stumbling across many weird worlds and variants of themselves, the two find the guy that's in control of the main universe we've seen thus far, and warns them if they kill him, it will cause a break in the multiverse. But female Trickster has the privilege of not giving a fuck, and he fucking dies, causing the multiverse to break, and our next big bad is born. A week or so after the battle of the airport, and a couple years after the character fucking died in a real world, Spy Girl goes on her own adventure to find her old family, team up to take down Harvey Weinstein, who's the head of the spy program Spy Girl was under before becoming a superhero. They fight him and his army in his giant station in the sky. Some chick who can mimic people's powers is also Weinstein's daughter, also gets defeated. The spy family becomes whole again, and Spy Girl's sister, after her death, is recruited by the lady from Seinfeld to task her to hunt down Arrow Guy and blames him for the death of her sister. Commissioner Gordon with a big ass head guards the multiverse and gives us several stories of alternate heroes from other universes that include evil Doctor Strange, Soldier Boy's love interest that becomes Soldier Girl, Panther Guy's cousin that won, Panther Guy that became like Dwyer, Humble Guy they never had a brother, and Spy Girl all have to team up to defeat evil Robot Guy with all the magic stones in him as they defeat him and trap him in a bubble. There's also zombies in there as well. Some guy named Sean has to stop his estranged father from awakening a dragon in the mystical village using his mystical rings, thinking he's gonna bring back his dead wife. From the help of his sister, best friend, Michelle Yeoh, and the terrorist actor that is still alive, they are able to defeat Sean's father as he fucking dies. Sean gets the rings, defeats the dragon, and becomes a superhero and a part of the super team. A bunch of godlike beings that I'm not even gonna attempt to break down individually all have to come together to stop Earth from being destroyed by a god being birthed from the Earth's core. Some fight to save it, some fight against it like Robb Stark, and some don't give a shit like Kumail Nanjiani. Eventually they all come together to stop this being, against their god's wishes, especially after finding out that they're just robots and have their minds wiped every single time they've done this. They end up stopping the fetus and saving Earth, just like abortion, as some of the beings get taken as punishment for this. But don't worry guys, Harry Styles will save us all. It's Christmas time and Arrow Guy's depressed because of his past. He goes to get his ninja suit back from a fangirl of his and ends up getting roped into a mafia conspiracy plot as Spy Girl's sister tries to kill him to no avail. Death Chick tries to kill him as well for the death of her dad, but it's actually Private Pyle who is behind her father's death, who looks a lot like that guy from a Netflix show that I've watched before.
No.
And Death Chick ends up shooting him in the face. Arrow Guy is able to get back to his family in time for Christmas. The bad guys are defeated, and Fangirl takes over the Arrow Guy's mantle. Spider-Kid is sad that the world knows his superhero's secret, and people won't stop bothering him. He asks Sherlock to do a spell to make people forget, but they fuck up the spell and cause other Spider-Kid villains to show up, including other Spider-Kids, or should I say Spider-Adults. Spider-Kid tries to cure the villains the first time, but he causes Spider-Kid's aunt to fucking die, and then he teams up with the Spider-Adults to stop these villains, cure all of them, and send them back home. As Sherlock makes a new spell that makes everyone remember Spider-Kid, but not the kid himself, losing his super team connections and his personal connections would shake it up. He moves to a crummy apartment to continue his adventures as a Spider-Kid, and nothing else happened because of this spell. Trust me. DID Guy is both a good and bad guy, as he struggles to find out who his true self is, as a cult leader wants to awaken a kaiju to destroy all the bad people on Earth or whatever. His two personalities, his wife, the god that granted him the superpowers after almost dying, and a hippo, all come together to defeat the cult leader and save Earth, until the god that promised DID Guy that he wouldn't use him for his body anymore, exploits his secret third personality to kill the cult leader and set up season 2. Sherlock has to stop Witch Lady from destroying the multiverse in order to get her kids back from another version of herself. Sherlock has to team up with a portal making girl and jumps through various universes to stop not only Witch Lady, but several versions of Sherlock as well. Witch Lady kills some people, Sherlock confesses his love to Regina George, and the Witch Lady stops herself and ends up collapsing a temple that was made in her presence. Sherlock gains a third eye and jumps with Furiosa for another sequel. A fangirl of the arrogant lady gets caught up in a situation where she unlocks some powers through a bangle and tries to send some immortal beings back home that have devious intentions. She also time travels back to find out about her family heritage. The fangirl gains a new suit, stops some law enforcement from breaching in her life, reconnects with her family, and saves the day, only to end up switching places with the arrogant lady out of nowhere. Humble God, who's more of a goofball god if I can be honest, leaves the space family that he teamed up with to team up with some white woman, who's dying of cancer while also becoming a god herself, because Goofball God made her worthy while he was drunk one night. They team up to take down Patrick Bateman, who's trying to find the physical being of eternity, to wipe out all the gods after his god failed to save his people. They do get out, some white woman dies from her cancer, Patrick Bateman fucking dies as well, but not before wishing his daughter to be resurrected, and now Goofball God has to raise a kid, without any child support. Thanks Bateman. Baby Tree does dumb shit for 10 minutes. That's all you need to know. Green Monster's cousin, who until now has never been mentioned, for a character that's been a loner and on the run for most of his life, gets into a wreck because woman driver, and gets monster blood in her, and now is female Green Monster. She attempts to go back to her eternal life, but because of her superpowers, can't escape the fame. She has to thwart several baddies, and break it down a little bit, find out who is trying to exploit her, makes out with a blind guy that looks a lot like that guy from the Netflix series I have watched, and ends up rewriting the show herself in the end, because she can't stand it either. Also, Green Monster has a son now, and the Spiny Monster is now a spiritual therapist leader or whatever. In some universe, a bunch of hunters gather around to fight in a competition to see who can obtain a certain jewel and become the ultimate hunter. One of them ends up being a werewolf, in disguise, to protect his friend. He is outed by the hunters and forced to transform into a werewolf, and takes out all the hunters and guards with ease, with the help of his friend, and a woman who's the daughter of the owner of the jewel, and they end up going their separate ways, till whenever we see them next. Panther Guy's sister is sad because her brother passed away off screen. Don't worry, I'm not gonna joke about somebody dying of cancer. We're not Love and Thunder. The secret African nation is struggling to find a new leader as their icon is gone. Fish King emerges to warn Panther Guy's sister and mom to give them the scientist that made a machine that can detect the secret metal that makes their nations powerful, or else he will go to war with them. They find a science chick as they get tracked down by Fish King's goons. The sister and science chick get captured and gets introduced to Fish King's city. They attempt to sell things out, but after Panther Guy's girlfriend sneaks him out, Fish King floods the African nation and kills the mom. The sister recreates the purple juice and gets her own powers, and in rage, she goes to war with Fish King and his people, and almost kills Fish King by dehydration, but she spares him if they leave their nation be. Sister becomes a new icon in the nation, Tribal Guy might become king, and Panther Guy's girlfriend reveals to Sister that she has a nephew with the exact same name as her brother. It's Christmas time, and Andy Dwyer is depressed since his Neytiri is dead, and the one that jumped over from another universe doesn't know who he is. Wrestler and Insect Lady attempt to brighten his spirits by capturing his idol Kevin Bacon as a present for him. Things kinda go awry, but Kevin Bacon eventually understands what their intentions were, so everybody sings Christmas songs and has a Merry Christmas. Okay, so that's the entire MCU phases 1 through 4. Now you're prepared to watch an ex-con fight the dude from Creed 3.
Now.